Hi there, my name is Kevin Liskey, and today I'm out at the Ginkgo Petrified Forest State Park. When people visit Washington State for the very first time, it's common for them to be a little surprised when they drive through this region of the state and they see this treeless landscape. This is supposed to be the evergreen state, right? So why is it that Western Washington looks so different from out here in Central Washington? Well, let's head on over to the Interpretive Center and we'll see if we could figure this out. Okay, so let's take a look at how all of this works. I have a map here of Washington State, and let me give you a little sense of direction with this map. So heading this way will be south into Oregon. Heading this way will be north into Canada. As I make my way around the map here, you can see I have some big waves. So this is representing the Pacific Ocean with the Washington coastline, the Olympic Peninsula, and the Puget Sound region. And again, this way will be north into Canada, south into Oregon. All right, so that's our state of Washington map, but we are missing one very important geographic feature, and that is our Cascade Mountain range. So I'm going to go ahead and build a model of our Cascade Mountains. As I'm doing so, it may shake a little, and that's what happens when you're building mountains. Some shaking and rumbling going on. Alright, so there we have a model of our Cascades, which begin up in British Columbia, Canada. They travel south through Washington State, continue south into Oregon, and then eventually into Northern California. Again, this is the Pacific Ocean. Out here in the Pacific Ocean, there are massive storm systems that build. So those storms will build and build, and eventually they'll get pushed east. They'll start moving inland across Western Washington. As they're doing that, they're dropping loads and loads of rainfall all throughout Western Washington. Those storm systems will continue to push east, but as they move further east, they're going to encounter an obstacle, and that is our Cascade Mountain range. So these storm systems become blocked or hindered by the Cascade Mountains, and the storms will rise up into the atmosphere, and they're going to drop precipitation in the form of snowfall all over the Cascade Mountains. However, that's where those storm systems will stop. That's where they'll die out. What this does is it provides the perfect environment for vibrant forest systems to thrive here in Western Washington. So anyone who lives there, has visited or seen photos, you know that Western Washington is blanketed with trees and forest systems. But like I said, those storms that help to nurture those forests get blocked by this Cascade Mountain range, which leaves this side of the mountain range, central eastern Washington, starved of all of that precipitation. What that does, instead of allowing forest systems to grow out here in central and eastern Washington, it creates a much more arid, almost desert-like landscape where we have plants like sagebrush, rabbit brush, bunch grasses, much more desert-like plants and a desert-like ecosystem on this side of the mountains. And so what we are describing here, this phenomenon where storms build and push against one side of a mountain range, but that mountain range blocks those storms from advancing to the other side, is what's known as a rain shadow effect. So we could say that central and eastern Washington exist in a rain shadow of the Cascade Mountain range. And so there's our answer. The rain shadow effect of the Cascade Mountain range is what makes the landscape out here in central Washington so different from the landscape of western Washington. That's it for today. Thank you for joining me.